Hello everyone and welcome to Game 2 of Leviathan versus Root Gaming. This is for the CEVO Season 5 thing. For $7,000 so far, prize pool is still increasing. My name is Ditone. I'm here with Boss Hog. How you doing, Boss Hog?
Doing pretty good, and as we see coming out of Root Gaming, they get that brew first pick, and as I said during the break there, Leviathan's not afraid to give it up. They've fought against it pretty well, and we see coming out first two picks out of Leviathan, that Phantom Assassin again.
Yep, I'm guessing that Shredder is just willing to shred people up. I'm gonna leave. Anyways,
Bad puns are the best puns.
Oh, dude, and Shredder's name, like, of all people when he plays carry, it's so perfect. But we do once again see that Ogre ban, just Leviathan respecting the fact that Root Gaming really like to play that. Especially as a core. I mean, I haven't seen Tubby lose on it yet. Of course, it's low sample size, but still. As well as the Skywrath ban, realizing they don't have first pick. And the Terrorblade ban, realizing, hey, we're probably going to be picking up the brew. We're not going to ban it out, we're going to pick it up. Realize that Shredder is pretty good on that hero. Ish. Actually, I don't think it's one of his stronger heroes, but I guess we don't know that. And then the Death Prophet, because that hero is still just absolutely ridiculously strong. And then the Shadow Shaman, in addition to the Brewmaster. A hero we actually haven't been seeing quite a lot of in 6.82. There we go, 6.82. Just because of that extra duration on the ward. So not only does it used to be that you could just kind of like use wards and hope for a tower, and if you got it, that was awesome. And if you didn't, it was like, okay, we'll just reset in like a minute and a half and get it next time. But now it's a much bigger commitment on the wards due to the, I believe, 30-second increase on the cooldown.
Yeah, it's a really early pickup for the Shadow Shaman as well. Coming out for the second banning phase, Troll and Jakiro. Jakiro, of course, from last game. Troll, I know that Leviathan do like Troll. They've played it before. It's a very strong hero, so we'll see what that fourth ban for Leviathan is. But yeah, Naga Siren, of course. Naga Siren is pretty good pushing, so we'll see what that fourth ban is and what the pickup is.
Yeah, and they don't ban. They opt not to ban the Abaddon, which is sort of interesting. Not sort of respecting the play of Nusham last game, maybe not thinking that it was the root of many of their problems. Hey, see what I did there? Another bad pun. Yes!
We got a little, we're going to see it look at it go as well, because Witch Doctor is going to be that support pickup for Leviathan.
Yeah. Sort of an interesting pick, especially considering he doesn't offer a lot of counter push, and right now Root are running a pretty heavy counter push lineup. Or, sorry, a pretty heavy push lineup just with that Shadow Shaman pick alone. He does offer a great deal of push.
I actually think the Shadow Shaman's a really bad pickup against the PA, especially with 50% evasion. It doesn't need to be afraid of getting hit by the wards and can farm them pretty easily, especially with that increased duration on them.
Yeah, but at the same time, the Shadow Shaman does have the availability of the Hex, so not only is Hex TP a thing, but at the same time, the Hex negates the evasion of PA. So, yeah. So the whichever carry that Root opts for can go ahead and pick that up.
It's going to be another BKB game for that Phantom Assassin. We might even see Phantom Assassin pick that up first over Vlad's if that's the same route they decide to go. Yeah, especially with Shadow Shaman Rubik. Might
be a Power Treads drum into BKB game, or maybe with a poor man shield thrown in for good measure. Oh, and we have Sunken's Disruptor. I have not seen this in a while, but Sunken is a beast disruptor player, so that will be new.
He played it during the qualifiers for the summit, and it was really strong. So yeah. We'll see if he can live up to the same tempo.
Same hype. Let's keep the dream alive. So that will be Nusham's Witch Doctor then. So giving him another hero that can heal. Let's just give him like the 3 heroes in Dota that have healing abilities, and we'll call it even.
I'm expecting the last 2 picks here to be 2 carries from Root, either an offlane carry or anything like that. Maybe even a Weaver for this 4th pickup so that they can have evasion. But Slark,
I was about to say, damn it, I wanted to speak, but I was gonna say I would favor the Slark significantly more over the Weaver in this case, simply because of the fact that Disruptor has that AoE static storm, and that really just locks down a Weaver super hard. A lot of silence in general just makes Weaver cry sad tears. And the Centaur does tremendous amounts of work against him, considering the physical damage that he can deal out. Even if they don't have the strongest of CC, they have enough AoE lockdown to keep the Weaver under wraps. So, yeah.
I feel like Slark falls in the same pit, though, because if you get the Static Storm up early, Slark can't even go pop his ult either, so we'll see how Slark fares in this situation.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like Slark is a better BKB holder than Weaver. Like, just by far, because you can build BKB. You can do Yasha BKB Scotty, and you're just nigh unstoppable. Or even SNY BKB on SNY BKB, or just straight BKB. Like, all those options are good. And
it is a good pickup here, I must say, though.
Yep. And the other hero we didn't really talk much about was the Rubik. I feel like Rubik does moderately well, maybe not as well as they're hoping for. It does make it so that while the Witch Doctor is channeling his ultimate, you can steal the Death Ward with relative ease. And most of the spells against Disruptor are good pickups. And they do ban the Medusa, which is interesting decision. I guess fearing the combo of Death Ward Ags into Medusa ult, which is very real. I've been seeing some teams pick up the Medusas simply for that that effect, and we do see Shivy's TA again.
So that puts Jenkins on the Centaur Warrunner then.
Yeah. I've not seen his Centaur, but I mean, in my mind, Centaur is like reverse Pudge, essentially, where Pudge is you bring an enemy out of position and then like slowly burn them down. What Centaur is you go out of position and then quickly burst the enemy down. So same sort of train of thought of like quick pick off, quick initiation into a team follow up, where the Dismember holds them in place so your team can get you up. The Stampede brings your team to you. So.
Yeah, I don't know how Centaur is going to fare in this game, though. If Rubik's ever near the Centaur when he pops his ult before Centaur gets his blink, then Rubik's just going to be able to steal his ult and be able to just make his team run away. So.
Yep. And the lift in general is just very strong against a Centaur running into your face. And an Elder Titan, then. Okay. So that's going to be Bangfish's offline ET. That should fare pretty well.
Actually, I think with Rubik Shadow Shaman, with Slark, you can go pretty aggro against that PA lane.
I don't know, man. I do view Shadow Shaman as a very a more passive support, as you do want the levels on him. So if you want to go ahead and introduce the side of Leviathan.
Can do. And on Leviathan, we have Nushame on that Witch Doctor. Shibby on TA did a strong game last one. We'll see if he does the same here. Sunken on Disruptor, very strong during the Summit qualifiers. We'll see if he can hold up here in CEVO as well. Shredder on PA again, very strong last game as well. We'll see if he can follow the same suit. And Jenkins on Centaur.
Alright, and on the side of Root, we have that boy JC. Your boy Jason, my apologies, on the Shadow Shaman. We have Lycus on the Rubik. We have Bangfish playing that Elder Titan, most likely going to the offlane. We have Tolera playing the Brewmaster. Let's see if he can fare better in mid this time versus that TA. And we have Tubby the Fat going to be playing on that Slark. Meanwhile, we do have an engagement 5-man onto that Shadow Shaman. Not a chance, my friend. Not a chance to live. And Jenkins with that first blood means he is that much closer to his Tranquils.
Yeah, Sunken held that first point, and as soon as he got close enough to that Shadow Shaman, threw him back with that glimpse. So, very strong start. They did the same thing last time around as well with that aggro start. So, they're going to go ahead and rotate up top now.
Alright, there we go. See if this improves the frame rate at all. Nope. Alright, my computer is having a hernia. This is fantastic.
Well, we got a Hazer up top. Dyer's deciding who to give it to. It looks like Nushame will be the one to pick it up to go ahead and rush toward that Elder Titan when he can. And we've got Brewmaster versus TA mid. It's going to be a pretty easy matchup for Brew, I feel. Brew gets level 2, most likely. Drunken Haze try to bring down TA's last hitting capabilities. But it's definitely going to be on Root's safe lane with the Slark to see how well he can farm against this Centaur, but I do feel like it's going to be a little back and forth farming unless the supports from Root can make work happen. But it looks like Rubik's getting a little caught out right now.
Yeah, he might just go ahead and take a fall here. Jenkins does get the stomp off, and just with a couple of right clicks, we'll be able to clean that up. Nushim, a nice little kill. Gonna end the Rubik's life. Meanwhile, up on the top lane, we have to see how well is Bangfish. Bangfish not able to get a single CS just yet. Meanwhile, Shredder doing a pretty good job with the CS, missing a couple here and there, but really nothing too much to complain about so far. But this mid lane is going to be really interesting because let's see, I need to see something. If you miss with the refraction attack, it
doesn't burn the charge.
Okay, it doesn't burn the charge. Okay. So, Shippy's going to be rolling the RNG dice, making sure trying to see as many last hits he can be getting up against that. He's actually opting not to put any points into Thunderclap, which is sort of interesting, as when you... I mean, I'm guessing he's going to put 3 points into it now as his next 3, simply because of the fact that when you see that the TA no longer has refraction charges, you can just clap very easily and like clean up a lot of kills. And now with the increased trigger timer on the Drunken Brawler, seems like it's not the best skill to be maxing right away, and same with the Drunken Haze.
Now, yeah, with the 1-2 Drunken Brawler, Drunken Haze, it does give Brew a pretty good early laning presence, so we'll see how well he can follow it up, but TA's doing pretty good as well. Still,
but Jenkins has boots and Lycus doesn't. He's just going to be chased down with right clicks here, it seems, not wanting to waste anything. Nushim is going to go ahead and pick up that kill, stomp out onto Tubby the Fat. They are going to throw a cask, and once again, little double edge action going on, but Jenkins going to be able to get out pretty much scot-free. Pops this bottle charge, or not the bottle charges, the stick charges, and should be able to walk away as if nothing happened.
Yeah, Slark did the one thing you're not supposed to do with Dark Pact, is not supposed to use it prematurely, and we saw right there, used it prematurely, didn't have to cool down back up, and wasn't able to get that kill on Witch Doctor.
Yep. Sort of unfortunate. At least for Slarky Slark. But yeah, 3 kills already in the favor of Leviathan, and lane control sort of falling out of the hands of Root Gaming. So Jenkins able to get a reasonable amount of farm up so far, sitting at 300 gold after Tranquils and Stick. That's not too bad whatsoever, especially as an offlane Centaur 3 minutes.
Definitely 2 kills will do that too. I'm pretty sure he has 2 kills.
Yeah, no, the Witch Doctor has 2 of them, yeah. And he has 1 of them. But he has
2 assists still really strong, but he's walking toward that bottom lane like he owns the place.
I mean, the Rubik's level 1, man. He's only at 500 health and a lift. Like, let's see, what's his burst damage right now? He's got 400 burst right now. Like, he full burst with like 1 or 2 auto attacks, you know, pretty much good to go. But Nushim's come back down to this bottom lane. Already has boots as a Witch Doctor. So feeling pretty strong there. Feeling pretty confident. Feeling pretty cocky.
I feel like the saving grace for Root's going to be this Elder Titan. You really can't contest Elder Titan even in the off lane, especially with that Spirit. And if Elder Titan can land some pretty good Earth Splitters, then you'll be able to turn off the TA and the Phantom Assassin. So.
Yeah, but at the same time, he hasn't managed to get up that Soul Ring just yet. As soon as he does, then yeah, he's going to be completely uncontested.
Bottom lane.
Bottom lane, we do have an engagement. The cask is going to go out. Longest cask jump back ever. We do have the Slark. He's going to go back into that kinetic field, but not much he can do there. Jenkins still chasing after these 2 supports along with Nushim. They're going to keep right-clicking him down, decide not to tower dive. And it will just kind of end in a draw. 1 TP burn from the side of Sunken, and it's really that.
It was a nice rotation from Disruptor, but unfortunately not able to get that kill on the Slark. Slark actually opts to put 2 points in Dark Pack instead of 2 points in Pounce. We'll see if that's due to the reduced cooldown or if you're just looking for damage.
I think it's probably just the damage at this point, trying to be able to contest this lane a little bit better, realizing that he's going to have to use Leap almost exclusively for escapes, not for engages, so not going to be too worried about that cooldown as much anyways. But your boy JC is going to get a little bit caught out here as Jenkins is just going to stomp, attack, double edge. Is going to go ahead and get stopped a little bit, but you know, that little shackle, but just not enough to live through Jenkins.
Leviathan not respecting that tier 1 at all, and Root just can't answer to it either.
I mean, they don't need to respect it. They've got the Shadow Shaman with level 2 heal, along with Jenkins with Tranquils and being Centaur.
Courier goes down too.
Oh man, that's huge. Do you know where that went down?
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna search for it.
I know, I'm looking. The corpse is probably long since faded. Guessing it was in the. I'm guessing it was around here because TA and Brew were having a bit of a showdown, and it might have gotten lost in the crossfire.
Well, either way, there was nothing on it, so it was most likely heading back.
Oh, no, man, yeah.
Go right ahead.
No, I thought I was thinking, oh, it might have been a bottle crow. Then I realized he still has his bottle. Yep, the Slark is gonna go down, trying to make these rotations, but I mean they're just not doing much. And really, what can he do? Shredder is just gonna go ahead and keep running at JC, realizing, hey, I've got a whole lot of a heal, and gets the first hit crit. I guess not so much the first hit, but the finishing crit, the coup d'éclat, and on that Shadow Shaman's life. Coup d'éclat. God damn it. My French is retired.
Close enough, don't worry.
W is just going to be doing a little bit of damage to Shibby, and by a little bit, I mean a little bit. Not enough to finish him, and, you know...
Brew coming back, I don't know why.
Yeah, he's just going to stay here. They're waiting. He wants to use that split, but doesn't have the mana for it. And yeah, 4 heroes are going to converge on Shibby, and they're going to go ahead and get that kill. And Sunken looking for something here, but can't find it whatsoever, and that Observer Ward is right in the line of sight of that sentry that was just placed, so... Not exactly sure what the thought process was there, as should have known that a sentry was just placed. But regardless, he's like, oh no,
see what
guys,
happens.
maybe it's sentry.
I mean, Rubik got the last hit there, so he's going to be able to afford boots, get some wards going, smoke as well on him, and his magic stick. So he's living pretty high, especially after that horrific start, if I do say, that happened for Root, that bottom lane. So. Yeah,
but at the same time, the Slark is sitting at level 5 while the Centaur is at level 6, so, I mean, not the greatest whatsoever. Sunken just going balls deep here, and will be completely caught out of position. I do not know what thought process was there. I guess his, hey, I'll chase the Brewmaster to the point where we can get a glimpse back, but he was already hovering back there. I don't know. But just really weird positioning, and takes a spill because of it.
Leviathan looking to take that T1 top. We'll see if anybody feels like rotating up there, but after the last couple rotations they've had, I don't feel like they want to.
Looks like the Shadow Shaman wants to, but I mean, just can't. And they do bring in the Brew also, who does have that ultimate. So I think respecting the Brew ultimate is probably the best play there, while just poking down with as many daggers as possible. We do have an ultimate coming in. I do not know who that was on or intended for.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either.
Oh yeah, I think it was Jenkins going on Bangfish, then Bangfish managed to TP out.
Smoke through Rubik and Shadow Shaman. We'll see what they decide to do with this. Looks like they're coming up top.
Yep, they do get the smoke broken though, so... The cast does go out, but isn't bouncing to any good targets. We do have the sheep off, and Nusham probably, yep, will go ahead and take a spill here. Tower's not in deny range just yet, so not the ultimate victory for Root, but still, you know, these little pickoffs are just what they need to get back in the game.
Yeah, it was a nice 800 gold swing almost for them as well, so...
Wow, that's 6.82, yeah. Anyways, Tubby the Fat is going to go on in, burn those defensive refraction charges. We do have a stop in from the Centaur. I'm getting quite a bit of lag. No! But the Brewmaster split does go off. We have a disruption back on Tubby the Fat, or a glimpse back, sorry. But Brew not feeling like diving the tower just yet. As
still chasing the disruptor.
Sunken with the jukes. Juke Mania. And we'll probably get out just fine. Meanwhile, looks like JC is going to go ahead and take a spill there right at the end. PA realizing that the rest of the team was occupied, so it was just like, hey, look, a Shadow Shaman, and then jumped on him and hit him a couple of times, and Shadow Shaman fell over.
I feel like Rue could have gotten a couple kills there, but at the end of the day, it's 2-0 for Leviathan, making the score 8-3 for them. And that fight recap shows another 1,000 gold going the way of Leviathan after that. So their gold lead's sitting pretty at almost a little above 7K. The experience just below 4.
Yep. Oh God, what is? Sorry, I'm trying to deal with weird stream issues that are going on.
We got Brew getting rotated on with the blink dagger from Centaur. Brew's taking a lot of damage here, and Double Edge just goes ahead and clears him out.
Yep, that Double Edge, strong ability, strong ability. Let's see, is this fixing anything? I'm just like messing around with numbers at this point and being like, man, I hope this fixes it.
I'll be able to see in about 30 seconds. So
yeah, it's still super choppy.
Well, looks like the teams have receded back to their respective sides. Leviathan doesn't feel like they need to do a little bit as much anymore, and we have Shadow Shaman doing a little stacking of that medium camp at mid. Centaur's gone back bottom after getting his blink. We'll see if he opts to go for the Blade Mail next on that. And Phantom Assassin opted to go for the Vlad's first again, and with the Ogre Club most likely leading back into that BKB.
Yeah, it looks like we're seeing a lot of similar builds from last game. Shibby opting for that drums first alongside the power treads. And yeah, Shredder actually going to go ahead and go just all out on the Lycus. Might be able to get the kill here, but stick charges are going to keep him up. Wow, that shackle range is pretty crazy. Meanwhile, Shredder is going to try and jump out, but doesn't manage to do so. Shibby going to try and get the return kill onto the Shadow Shaman. Does manage to do so, actually with the double kill, also killing the Rubik. And that little squirrel.
Not sure why you moved the Fire Panda off there, but...
Dude, are you a pro player? So, yeah, come on, please. But Tubby is going to burn all those defensive refraction charges. Maybe his reason for maxing that Dark Pack first. But Jenkins just, with no mercy, burst down that Slark. Just an absolute millisecond. But yeah, 5-12. Now the score. Leviathan taking a solid position this game so far.
As with last game, it's got them. You got to cut out for them at this point. They're down again, as the just even the experience in gold show. But items are starting to come out as well. I mean, TA is saving up for that blink dagger. Going to have it soon. Centaur had a very early blink themselves. Looks like going for either headdress or Vanguard to go into Crimson Guard. So
I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see the Crimson Guard here, as it is an amazing way to deal with all the Brewlings as the damage gets split up between those targets. Oh, stomp onto Lycus and get slowed by a TA trap, and man, that TA's damage just says no. You do not get to live. And the Blink Dagger gets delivered immediately after that kill, so... Or not delivered immediately after kill, it gets purchased immediately after that kill. Meanwhile, we have the defensive Stampede. Tubby trying to do his best to catch up. Wow. That Ancestral Spear just doing a ton of damage, and Tubby gonna go ahead and fall to that Death Ward. Oh, it's such a nice play. The Disruptor glimpse into the preemptive Death Ward, able to make sure that they got as much damage as possible on that Slark, and it was just enough to kill him, as it was the last couple of jumps that did manage to finish him. Bangfish now gonna go ahead and take the stop from Jenkins, but I mean Jenkins just not there. Like the rest of his team just wasn't there. Shredder is gonna go ahead and get out, just barely right at the end. Trying to get as much damage as possible onto him, but between the blur and just not enough magic damage, not enough damage in general, manages to escape.
Yeah, Rubik almost had the Fade Bolt up, but he did have a drum, an Earnest Shadows charge. I'm surprised he didn't throw it on there. He was in range the entire time, so... And Shadow Shaman just evaporates, apparently. Glimpse making Brew go nowhere, so Leviathan backing off from that tier 1. Brew's gonna end up farming up a little bit down here.
Let's see, I'm gonna restart my DotA real quick because it's gotten to the point where it's just like unwatchable. So
alright.
go ahead and
Will do. So Brew's going to pop his ult after the initiation from Shredder. Earth Splitter's going to go off, but it's going to be dodged. PA is going to re-engage back onto the Rubik, going to get lifted, but I don't think PA cares about that lift too much because he's going right back in. But PA now getting held by the Shadow Shaman, going to get pulled back by Disruptor, but PA goes down in the end to 4 people down there. Wards did get dropped, but it doesn't look like they do anything. In the meantime, by the tier 1, Slark tried to go on Disruptor, very low life. Disruptor gets out with about 20 HP at the end, and TA decides to die at their tier 1 to the constant assault from Root. Meanwhile, Elder Titan picks off the Disruptor, who decided to stay around a little too long, picked him up with the Spirit coming back up. So, looking at the fight recap, 3 deaths on the side of Leviathan. Slark the only one to fall for Root, and it's about a 2.5k gold swing and a 4.5k experience change going in the way for Root. They must be feeling pretty happy about that team fight after those numbers, and the graphs do show it coming back in their favor. Leviathan only leading by about 3k now. Experience, gold, pulling it back up to about 5.5. Still in the favor of Leviathan though, so.
And of course I missed the exciting team fight the second my Dota just becomes like slideshow. But yeah.
Well, as teams are back to their own sides, since Leviathan is on the side with Roshan, they're going to go ahead and attempt Roshan. Doing it pretty well, pretty quickly.
Yep.
It doesn't look like a Root knows anything about it though, so they're going to go ahead and get a free Roshan out of it, and we'll see who the Aegis goes on. Most likely going to be that TA.
Yeah, TA does have the room for it, so it wouldn't be terribly surprising. But yeah, just the Meld Strike in combination with the PA crits just tears apart Roshan. One may even say Shredder shreds it.
You're laying him in there tonight, aren't you?
I'm feeling it, man. I'm trying to bring back this broadcast. Like, oh crap, the low production quality. I'll bring it back with bad puns.
Well, even though Leviathan does have a very strong lead in both experience and gold, they've only taken 1 tower. They're looking to increase their tower lead now by taking the tier 1 mid, making it 2-0 towers in their favor. But in the meantime, we have Elder Titan and the Shadow Shaman up at top. Shadow Shaman probably most likely looking to drop his wards on this tier 1 up here.
We do have a Stampede coming out. Is going to go on to Lycus. Nice little play by Shredder actually going through, realizing that the Centaur is probably going to be dropped behind. And managed to avoid that extra stun so he can get the kill. Believe.
Yep.
Actually, the Centaur still got the kill, but yeah.
Yep. And the wards did get dropped top, so they will be taking their first tower of the game, giving themselves a nice influx of gold.
But it still is a trade at the end of the day, where they trade their T2 and a Rubik kill for that T1. And Leviathan really need to consider backing here, unless they're going to try and force Root to back. Rubik has returned, and we do have a TP from the Shadow Shaman, as well as the rest of Root for the most part. Yeah, pretty much all of Root is now here, and Leviathan should know about this. They should really be careful, as a good initiation from Brew alongside everything else can really kill it. And we can see Phantom Assassin already taking a spill there. Jenkins on low HP, and will most likely be taking the spill here. As, yeah, he does go ahead and take a fall. The Paralyzing Cast stolen by Rubik, actually doing quite a bit of work, and 4 for 0. It's the trade that Root ends up taking, all for just a tier 3 tower. So, what is that? Math is hard. 4K gold swing in the favor of Root Gaming, as well as a 4.5k EXP swing, all just for a tier 3 tower. I don't think it was worth it. They should have just beat the second that they saw that all the heroes were missing off the tier 2 tower on top.
Yeah, with that team fight concluded though, Brew does opt to go for the Vlad, so he's going to be going more that Aura Brew that we've been seeing a lot more, not opting for the Ags here. Not seeing any other strong pickups with the Crimson Guard. Those get picked up for Centaur.
Yep, this will just improve their team fight in general, make them a little bit more tanky, a little bit harder to deal with. Especially, it's starting to negate the Elder Titan factor. In addition to the fact that Slark, when he doesn't have any stolen agility, really doesn't hit that hard, especially considering his item progression has been essentially non-existent. We're 20 minutes in, he doesn't even have a Blink Dagger. So even though if we check the graphs, yeah, the EXP's equalized, the 5k gold is really taking its toll. I mean, we have to look where that gold's being distributed to. Okay, we have a Blink Dagger on the Shadow Shaman. That's 2k invested. We have Arcanes on the Rubik. That's nice for him. We've got a Necro 1 on the Elder Titan. Those are all like nice items to have, but you compare that to a Deso on a TA, in addition to the fact that that Witch Doctor is either working towards a BKB, which no one on the side of Root can interrupt then, or even that Ags for the tremendous amount of damage output. I mean, yeah, the PA isn't extraordinarily farmed either, but due to the fact that the gold distribution is more evenly spread on Root, they just don't have anyone scary going into the later portions of this game. However, we might see an engagement out onto this PA. Is going to go ahead and blink back. Nice play there, as there was no brew clap. I guess not expecting it. And the smoke is here, so they're going to re-engage onto Tubby, who's just going to leap and TP away. Jenkins with the blind blink attempt. It's a good effort, but yeah. They're going to go ahead and work on this T2 now. I think that's probably their best decision, as we'll give them a little bit more map control, which is the one thing that they are lacking. And if they can push it down, then it's making up for the one fault in their lineup, which is a considerable lack of push outside of this Deso on the TA.
Slark picking up his newly acquired Blink Dagger evades that kill that probably would have been faulted to if he didn't have that, but
that would have been a T3 if he didn't have it, to be perfectly honest.
I don't think Leviathan cared too much though, because PA just walks up and hits it a couple times.
I mean, they're just chipping away at it time and time again. They can just keep burning the refraction damage charges against it. It's got the Deso effect on it. And as long as they don't grossly overcommit like last time, they should just be able to just slowly but surely siege down this tower. Essentially doing what the Liquid Fire on Jakira does, but it might just be going full retreat here, realizing that, you know, no need to push it, no need to go crazy, especially since Shibi's Aegis is now expired. Not sure how long ago that was, because I DC'd out, but his Aegis is no longer a thing.
It recently went away, so we got a little more time left on the Roshan respawn, so we'll see how much time we have until Leviathan feel like pushing it again. They're probably going to wait for the next Aegis just to reinforce what they have.
Yep, meanwhile, they're very content just farming up, realizing that the later this goes, the more secure they're going to be. Root picking these lineups that seem like they should be really strong during the mid game, but not having the laning phase in order to sort of prove that. Just a nice little teamwork, nice little plays coming out from the side of Leviathan, able to make sure that they can, you know, they can get their lanes won in different ways. We're gonna have an engagement out onto Toller here. Oh, we do see that extended brew time come into effect as he does get stomped up in between, and they might still continue to pursue. Cass is going to come out. No, he's just going to TP out. Cass wasn't in range, or he didn't feel like he had the cast time for it. Meanwhile, we do have Disruptor going to go ahead and kill off that Slark using that field of glorious glory, and the TA with a double damage is going to like one-shot the glimpse-backed Shadow Shaman. So even though Sunken's not having a standout performance, still making sure that he can secure those little kills for his team, which is exactly what Leviathan sort of build themselves around, is these little pick-offs that then they can snowball off of.
Definitely, and we see Leviathan, they're pulling up some gold. Disruptor has 1900 on him, probably saving up for something special, probably a Force Staff, but unsure.
Blink Dagger wouldn't terribly surprise me either, as he might just be able to, like, he might want to increase that glimpse by an additional 1200 units, so it has a 3000 cast range. You never know. Or if he blinks in for the Thunderstrike to make sure that he can keep vision. But he's actually going for the Aghanims, which isn't terribly surprising, but at the same time is extraordinarily strong. I would have expected a mobility item first, but he's playing more of a 5 in this game, so realizing, hey, the Aghanims is going to have a bigger impact than a Force Staff will be, so we're going to do that instead.
I actually feel that there's the opposite effect here. The Ags on Disruptor, I feel like, isn't really going to do too much. The normal ult's going to ultimately do the same thing. Slar can't pop his ult. Brew can't ult. The only thing that they're really hoping for here is, I think, for the extended duration on it. Root doesn't have any items that require activation either. So.
Or at the same time, it could be one of those preemptive things that, okay, Slark's going to work into a BKB next. Let's make sure we have the counter ready for when it comes up.
Definitely.
So a preemptive measure. Because, like, if you get Slark pounced, you're pretty much screwed. It's one of those things where it doesn't matter how much mobility you have. I think you're still, like, dead if you get caught out against Root Gaming. So, and Sunken's positioning has just in general been extremely, like, well done, I guess is the word I'm looking for, but it's been good. It's been good for the most part. He's been caught out a couple of times in weird spots, but, no, Disruptor not exactly the big, oh my god, you're going to get a million kills in this hero, and Root just not reacting fast enough. They might be able to get the T3, at least force out the glyph.
Slark's pushing top, but we got a PA coming back, so gonna stop that push from him.
Yep. And I'm guessing, they're just gonna go ahead and retreat on bottom too, realizing that the PA no longer with them, so no need to overextend. And it looks like Shredder is gonna be going for a Basher next, as he has picked up that Belt of Strength.
Roshan's almost up. It looks like if Centaur sits there for a moment, he'll be able to see it.
They already have the Psionic trap there. They're all ready for that, and
there they go.
Roshan goes ahead and comes back to life from, I guess, heaven. I don't know, whatever gold dust.
Rematerialization.
Thing. There we go. That sounded smart and scientific. So yeah, they're just gonna go ahead and smack him a couple times, give him the good old meld, give him the good old Deso, and Shibby can almost take this solo at this point, and they're just gonna give it to him anyways. So I think Nushim gonna stick around saying like, "Hey, I want EXP, love me."
To be honest, I'm actually really surprised how aggressive Brood has been all game. They've lost all their towers, but they still continue to push out past their T2s and Tier 1s that don't exist anymore. They're really often going to go for these this Tier 2 top, which they're all rotating up for.
Yep. I mean, they are pretty confident. I mean, this Slark has his ultimates. They know exactly when they are seen and when they aren't, as long as they're sticking with Slark. So they know what Leviathan sees and what they don't, just by checking that nice little buff there. So, but at the same time, Leviathan are staying on the map for the most part, pushing out these creep waves, continuing up their farm, so on. So it's not terribly surprising that Root is pushing past these towers because, hey, they know where Leviathan is. Leviathan's being aggressive. We'll be aggressive too, but in a different area.
And Slark actually opting not to go for the BKB, picks up the point booster, gonna go rush that Scotty. Well, when I say rush, he's looking to get it next.
Yeah, so probably around like 35 minutes or so. If he's left uncontested, doesn't die again. But they are gonna go ahead and get this tower. Brewmaster gonna pick up that last hit, getting pretty close to that AC. So Leviathan looking for a move here, gonna have to try and put some pressure on these Raxus to force the TPs back. I already have the Slark force, or not the Slark, the Brewmaster force back, but they are going to lose their range Rax unless Root can respond faster. They might just lose this full set of Rax. Meanwhile, Slark doing his best to chip away at that top tower, but really not a lot of damage. Meanwhile, we might have the start of an engagement. Brewmaster clap and split on Nushim, but they're just going to go ahead and stampede away. The Earth Splitter hits on literally nothing. Tubby the Fat is stuck inside that Disruptor ultimate. We have the Death Ward coming out, but really not a lot going on. The Brewmaster illusions or Brewlings are being cleaned up back and forth. Buyback already out on the Slark. We do have a nice little crit that is going to kill nothing. We have a crit again on to the Elder Titan. Going to go ahead and take a spill. Tolera taking quite a bit of damage. Doesn't have that additional form to split into, and might be taking his final spill here. If we can get a stomp, nope, just a double edge is going to be plenty of damage to finish him off. Meanwhile, on the back lines, we have another buyback out on the Brewmaster this time, and Shibby doing quite a bit of damage to your boy JC, just poking through those wards. Slark on the chase, but is going to get disrupted back, but still most likely will fall. Nope, never mind. Shredder there with the bash, or not with the bashes, but just with the auto attacks in order to clean up Shadow Shaman, freeing his friend Sunken from those chains. Crazy team fight, just absolutely crazy.
Was very crazy. At the end of the day, though, it was 8 deaths for the side of Root for only the Witch Doctor, and it's looking exceedingly more grim for Root at this point.
Yep, that is even with the new balance, the new AOE goal changes, where you would not expect a big like uproar of goal change at this point for the side of Leviathan. It's still a 5k gold shift in the favor of Leviathan, but mainly because of the fact that it was a 2.3 gold deficit for the side of Root, which is huge for a single team fight, let alone the 6.5k EXP that Leviathan were able to pick up. That's just something you can't afford at this stage of the game, and EXP now dipping into the 15k range, which is where Leviathan are most comfortable playing because that's when they win. And the 20k total team net worth. Meanwhile, Witch Doctor gets a pick off with Disruptor and manages to kill Slark, who just bought back. So no money on that. No money for that Scotty whatsoever. Or I was saying, hey, if he doesn't die again, he'll have it by like maybe 40, like between 35 to 40 minutes. Now is no gold at 32 minutes and just looking super grim for him.
It looks like Leviathan's gonna want to push out that top lane too.
Yeah, you see the line, just like go, just straight that way. Meanwhile, on bottom we have 3v2 engagement. Jenkins getting a little overzealous, but never mind. Shredder just cleaning up there. They are going to force the Brewmaster split. They might be losing Shredder for this. In fact, they most likely will. Brewmaster does toss up Jenkins. Shredder gets the jump back out. They might be able to save Shredder's life. Not quite enough. We have the Stampede coming out from Jenkins, but he does get Boulder tossed up. Force Staff, not enough to get him over the ledge. The stolen double edge is enough to to get the final kill on him. But meanwhile, Shibby has been left uncontested. There's no longer a Bruling form, and there is an Ag's Death Ward just going to start tearing through the side of Root. But your boy JC with those wards doing as much damage as humanly possible, and Newsham's got to TP out. Is he going to be able to? Yeah, he does, just barely TP out at the end of the day. So Leviathan getting very overzealous there, taking a 2v5 fight and getting punished quite heavily for it. And that 5k gold that they just won in their previous engagement goes right back to the side of Root, as well as 7k EXP to boot.
The experience change, I feel, is a little more important here. Rubik gets over that level 11 hump, so he's going to be working toward the null field now, getting that extra magic resist for his team. Shadow Shaman's almost level 12 as well, so he'll be edging closer and closer to 16.
Yeah, I actually only like leaving the telekinesis at level 2 and maxing the null field from there, just because I feel like that null field, especially against something like a Centaur, is just so much more valuable.
Same, but I do see why he doesn't level it here. The only person really dealing damage is the Centaur, magic wise at least. So
I mean, the Static Storm does quite a bit of damage, up to 250 damage a second, upwards of Oh, Newsham might be caught out here, but gonna try, and if they can keep vision, they might be able to get the glimpse kill, but no, not enough vision, and they're gonna see the Ancestral Spirit and be like, oh god, there's people here. Let's take the final look. We have about a little over 10k EXP advantage. Little over 10k EXP advantage alongside a little over 15k net worth advantage, still on the side of Leviathan, despite that last overzealous team fight.
Yeah, I was really banking for this Elder Titan to do a little more work. He opted to go for the Necro Book, and it really hasn't been doing much for them. I feel like he could have gone for something such as a Crimson Guard. Probably could have negated a lot of the damage coming out from PA and as well as the Death Ward.
Yeah, I feel like given that in the last engagement, we do have Jenkins most likely going to be taking a spill here, as just thinking he can take on the Brew, but the Brew has many items, and Jenkins will be taking a solo fall there. I wonder. That's 4 heroes with a solo kill is an 1800 gold shift in the favor of Root alongside 2500 EXP. So yeah, that's not something you can just give away left and right. Oh god, Sunken. Most likely going to be taking a spell here. Does shift him, does glimpse him back, blows the static storm. They pop the smoke in order for the hasty retreat, but yeah.
Even with those set of racks down mid, Root still has very strong wave clear with that Spirit and Ether Shock, so they're able to hold these waves out pretty strong.
Yep, in addition to Fade Bolt, in addition to the fact that he's still a double edge, I mean, they can keep 2 lanes entirely pushed out. In addition to the clap, they have very, very good wave push. In addition to the Dark Bolt attack, sorry, like every single one of these heroes does something to push out a wave. It's pretty nice, actually. They're not going to be just completely overwhelmed by creeps until maybe even Megas.
Yeah, TA goes ahead and picks up the MKB, so it's tired of the evasion on Brew.
Yep.
Goes ahead and say, hey, you're not dodging me anymore.
Oh so. God, he might have just had an overzealous blink for that yeah, for that simple bounty room, but they do blow 2 ultimates for him, so probably not feeling confident enough to fight. But I mean, once again, that's another 2.5k EXP and another 2300 gold. Those are the pickoffs you need in order to get back in. And now Slark gonna go ahead and come in. Does get stomped up and glimpsed back, so won't be the end days for him, but it's certainly not looking great, especially considering Roshan spawning in 40 seconds. TA won't be up, and Tubby is still looking for a fight. We have the disruption, the field going out, but the Death Ward is getting a full cast off so far, but not hitting on anything right now. Just really not enough there to, like, not enough targets to be hitting in range. And Jenkins gonna get stunned up. Shredder looking for something, but he's just gonna keep getting CC'd by the ridiculous amount of CC that Brewmaster can put out. Those Brewlings, my apologies. But yeah, Tubby gonna pick up a double kill in addition to the fact that they picked up the Centaur as well as the Disruptor for only the cost of a Shadow Shaman. So not bad at all.
Rubik did live thanks to Meld, but looks like he'll do the same here again.
Yeah, and as I was like saying, hey, 37, or what was it, 35 to 40 minutes to get a Scotty uninterrupted. Well, with those additional kills, he now has that full Scotty completed. So the Slark getting scarier and scarier by the minute. 500 base move speed, alongside, or not 500, sorry, 500 with that Shadow Dance going alongside everything, but he might have just overcommitted a little bit. No, the glimpse might have just saved his life, as he will go ahead and take quite a bit of damage here. The what's-my-jigger, oh god, the Thunderstrike's gonna keep vision of him, but Shredder are gonna pick up a double kill. Got too many names to start with S. Meanwhile, the Earth Splitter's gonna pick up that Witch Doctor, and the wards holding Shredder in place. The misses are out of control, and he's not going to be able to bring down Shredder with those wards, or really with anything. Jenkins now joining the fight, gets the stun up on Bangfish, going to get slowed down, gets the Crimson Guard pop. Not going to be afraid of those wards too much anymore, but will still take the fall after the Aegis gets popped. And then the Aegis will get popped. Man, English is a hard language. But yeah, should be not gonna opt not to just stay in Meld. Gonna try and fight the Brewlings a little bit. And actually might be able to force out, yeah, is going to be able to force out the Brewmaster. Going to get glimpsed back, and will go ahead and take a spill. So that's a 4-for-1 fight coming out from the side of Leviathan, finally taking a fight in their favor after seemingly like 3 bad engagements in a row, in addition to some pickoffs. And even though the gold change is only showing a little bit, but now another buyback coming from the side of Root Gaming. Going to try and hold this tower. If they get 2 lanes of racks down, it's going to be a much harder hold, but Slark's already back up. Going to go ahead and sheep up Shibby right away. This is just a non-stop team fight right now. The tower does go down. Shredder essentially one-shots the Rubik, who immediately buys back and then moves on to his next target. One-shots him. Might be going on to Tubby, and in fact, Jenkins will bring him down with a double-edged. Shredder, with that cheese, is going to go ahead and come back up to full life. I believe that was cheese. I don't know how else he got up to full life. But anyways, there is going to be the shackles onto him. He might be able to finally go down, but the Disruptor field plus the Death Ward with Aghanims is going to tear through the rest of the team. That is a full 5-man wipe on the side of Root Gaming, and Leviathan is finally going to take this long and drawn-out game. Oh, man. Crazy, like 6 minutes of action right at the end there.
Yeah, Root had a chance, but unfortunately that fight in their jungle really threw it away for him. Brew had actually blinked into the Shadow Shaman wards and was stuck there the entire duration of the fight after that. He actually popped his ult really late after his entire team had died. So
yeah, I mean that was what Leviathan, both of their games really relied on, was these big split up fights where they don't have to tank these. You don't have to tank the ET ult on top of the Brew ult, on top of a Slark ult, on top of a Shadow Shaman ult. It's more of just spreading it out, making sure the TA can get a pick off here or there. Disruptor can bring back one person, get a pick off there. And you know what? They executed that. Root was doing a really good job, finally realizing, hey, we can't let that happen. But the final fight, just a little bit of out of position and a little bit of chaos was enough to really put them overboard. But yeah.
And again, Templar Assassin putting work in like they did the first game. A couple more deaths this time around, but still 20-minute deaths later.
Yeah, but that 20-minute deso after drums and treads, man, and blink, man.
Yeah.
Just that 620 GPM on your mid hero, man. This guy is gonna be like, I don't know. This guy's putting in a good run for Arteezy's money for being the secret carry of Leviathan.
I do feel like you need to ban the Brew away from Leviathan no matter what. Even if you grab it, they find ways around it, but you can't give it to them either. So that's showing right here. Brew is still the highest level. Still going to do a lot. Yep.
Anyways, that's been it for this best of 3. Leviathan take it 2-0 over Root. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, Boss Hawk. Hopefully we get to cast again very soon.
I'm available whenever you are.
All right. Do you want to plug anything?
Not really. I mean, I have a stream, twitch.tv/bosshog_. I don't stream that often, but when I do, you can find me there.
Do it. Watch it, because that guy is part of the Sunken Stack, and Sunken Stack is the real deal, man.
I've also got a Twitter, JR_bosshog, but I don't tweet that often, so don't bother.
All right, fair enough. And you can catch me here at twitch.tv/Exius Dietown, or like the Facebook page, see whenever I stream. Anyways, that's it for me. I'll catch you guys later, and have a nice day.